Hi, Teresa. Hi, Karen.
Hi, Bud. How do you feel since he's taken over, Zach has kind of progressed in his play calling duties?
I think everybody over there has done a really good job as far as just organizationally, the communication to put the plan together, the efficiency to put a plan together, and the practice preparation and everything else. And I think he's again, there's no perfect call. I've said this millions of times, and as long as our personnel is in the game and the call gets in there, and it's decisive and one that the players understand, then it's a good call, and we'll have good execution. And sometimes we won't have such great execution, but I mean, I do think that we haven't had any trouble with those. We haven't been, pressed. We've been in 2-minute situations. We've been in, third down. We've been, we've stayed in personnel groups. We've changed personnel groups. So, I think Zach's, doing a good job, and we'll need to do a great job this week for what they do offensively.
Mike, you've talked to us about your input here and there on offense. What's your level of involvement with the defensive game planning?
I think it stays the same. I'm trying to be in a lot of different places and try to help where I can. I enjoy being defensively, and certainly help offensively when I can. So special teams wise, I think I try to help where I can.
You talked about working guys harder after a win, being able to do that in the past. How do you handle an emotional game like that as far as getting them back mentally ready?
Practice, and you go through meetings. You focus on new opponent. We don't really know this opponent. I would say this is new for a lot of players here, and maybe some coaches here, as far as their personnel and what they do, and their skill players offensively, and Olave and Shaheed, and how good Kamara is, and Miller coming on and running as hard as he did. They got all their tight ends are available and up ready to go. So we'll have to understand the difference between Jennings and when Taysom's in the game, or Moreau, and right on down the line defensively. So it's a big physical front. I've always appreciated the way Demario Davis plays the game, and corners are active, big, long, played a football at 24 PBUs on a season as a defense, so they're creating turnovers, and that was the difference in last week's game.
Mike, what are some of the traits that Terrell Jennings has helped him stick around?
Well, one, I think he's a great teammate. I think he cares about the team. He's able to play on special teams. He's able to play on a fourth down. I think he's got a toughness to him, and I think he's improved.
Mike, when you put yourself in the shoes of the players, can it be a challenge to show the same energy and resolve the week after having such a big week and a big emotional win on Sunday night? Can it be tough to match that the coming week,
We have a job to do. It's the same every week. We try to think that if we are consistent each and every week, and I think it allows us to, get past some of those things. We're disappointed after we lost, disappointed after, happy when we won, disappointed when we lost. And, I think we've responded, and, we'll have to, make sure that we're doing everything that we possibly can to prepare to go on and handle another tough environment. Just, being able to handle the road environment and the crowd noise and everything else. I'm sure they'll be excited. They played really well last week. I'm sure they'll have the same great support that they always have in the Dome.
I know you guys added a running back to the practice squad yesterday, but is that a position you would continue to look to add to with Gibson's injury?
I mean, we're continuing. I think they'll probably, hopefully, look everywhere where if there's somebody that we feel like can help us, whether that's at running back or any other position. But right now, nothing new to add.
What is Frank Woodson leads the team in defensive snaps? I know a lot goes into a week over the course of the season, but what are some things that he's done to earn your trust playing back there?
Well, I think he, good communicator. He's good in open field. He's been able to handle a lot of volume, take care of his body. Hasn't been perfect, but feel like he's just some snaps I'm sure he'd like to have back, but there's been it hasn't been too big for him, and he stayed healthy, so that's the biggest thing.
Mike, what are some of the things that you've seen Spencer Rattler do that have made him
The ball comes out really quick. I think that he's decisive with the football, and I think he also is really good when he runs it. You know, they designed some plays for him to run. He's been good in that regard, and then there's been some play extensions where, you know, he's been able to get out of there pretty quickly, and so I think the decisiveness is continuing to show up and improve. And you know, they played well in Buffalo and had it was a one-score game in the fourth quarter. They roughed the punter, and that was pretty much the end of it. And then obviously they got down last week. And I think it's an impressive job on their parts and Kellen's job, and be down 14-3 and come storming back and hit a big play and then create some turnovers.
Alvin Kamara, specifically looking back on this last game, how was the defense able to stop James Cook? And how
You're not getting the message yourself.
the louder?
No, we're just worried about Alvin Kamara and Miller.
Well, I'm saying, how can you build across?
Well, we'll have to do it over again, and we'll have to work through the week to build a wall, to set an edge, and to swarm and tackle and be able to fit the runs up that they'll probably have in a scheme and everything else. But you know, what you did one week certainly doesn't guarantee what you're going to do the next week, positively or negatively. So, you know, they do a good job. They're on the ball. They have, you know, runs out of tempo. They have shots out of tempo. You know, they're under center. They're in the gun and the pistol. So there's a lot to be able to get ready for formationally. So things that we'll have to be ready for.
It seems like a few of the defense's touchdowns allowed to involve motion. I'm wondering, has there been any kind of theme in those, and what do you have to do basically to get better?
Just communicate and understand that those are all scheme plays, and that, you know, that's what we're going to get. And we have to do a better job in the red zone of communicating and anticipating what that is. I don't think they're just going to line up and run a play. You know, I mean, there's going to be something involved that grabs your eyes, that grabs your attention, you know, misdirection. You know, I don't know what the plays are. I can just try to explain what the concepts are going to be. You know, they're going to change them a little bit each week, but, you know, when you look around, that's kind of what it is.
With 5 weeks down now, what do you like about the captains on this team in terms of them setting the standard and the communication between coaches and the rest of the team?
Yeah, I think they do a good job of relaying the message that we try to create each week. I think they do a good job of bringing some things that maybe some other players or some younger players may have throughout the week to me. And my job is to listen. My job is to try to make a decision that's best for the team, but to try to listen to them. Not that I'm always going to do everything that, you know, they ask, but I do appreciate them coming and sharing some of those thoughts from the rest of the team.
Like, but it's only been a 5-game sample with the new head coach. Do you get a sense at all holistically, like how Kellen and his staff want to play games and win?
Yeah, I mean, I think that they want to run the football. I think they do. I think they want to use tempo on their terms, which they've done a great job of. I think they want to make you prepare for a lot, and I think they've got a lot of speed on the edges that they're trying to create, but also, you know, understand with a young quarterback that they, you know, want to be able to try to get it out of his hand just from a numbers wise and not sit there and hold it. So they've been successful with that. Try to keep it in third and manageable.
Like the running game at this point is toward the bottom of the league, 27th ranked. I'm wondering how you can improve on that. Obviously, the passing game has been much stronger.
Just keep working at it. You know, I'm with you. We understand that, and it's got to be better. You know, it has to be better at the line of scrimmage, at the second level, you know, and then continue to try to finish to break some of these. And we've had some good runs. It's just not enough of them, not enough, double-digit runs, you know, that help your average. So again, I think that, you know, we got to stop talking about being one guy away or one block away. I think that was a big theme from last week, and that'll have to fix.
Mike, when you think
You
of
said
it,
that
You said that you've learned that penalties are not a strong indicator of wins.
Mhm.
How did that information change your approach to coaching that area?
Well, it's not that that we don't care about penalties, right? We want to make great decisions, and but I also understand that team fouls are ones that happen before the snap. Like we have to be better on, and Hunter communicating with the official, and thinking that we got, hoping we got that cleaned up. We don't want to line up offsides. We don't want to extend drives, competition fouls, and we ask them to play full tilt to the tackle. But then there's a line there, and we have to play by two things: the whistle, right? I just don't understand how a professional athlete could assume that anybody in this league was down, and we're going to play to the whistle, and we're going to play to 2 feet in the white, and we have to pass rush and not hit the quarterback in the head, can't hit him in the knees, and then when another player has 2 feet in the white, we can't hit him or give the appearance that we're hitting him. And I think Schooler ran over there and stood there, and the same guy got tackled by Marcus, and the officials saw that, and so again, you just have to understand kind of what they're looking at. But we have to play aggressive. I think that there has to be an aggressiveness to the way that we play, but also that comes into the decision making and when to make a great decision. And it's hard for me to sit here and fault Josh, from last week, and there's no whistle, and running back's acting like he's going to flip the ball back to the quarterback. And I mean, certainly would have liked to not had a penalty called, but I can see it both ways. Just ask that they, blow the whistle. And it's the easy way for us to say that the play's over and that our efforts need to stop. And but I don't know how else to coach it. I don't know how else to coach professional players on defense in this league with the type of athletes that you're going against. It's hard to bring them down with one guy. They keep running, they bounce in. Next thing you know. So again, we'll keep coaching it, and it's not that it's not important. It's important, but it's also there's something behind it. I'll tell you, every X play run, and we ought to have Taylor track this. Every X play run in this league, there's probably a hold. You know what I mean? Like it's just that they don't call, that they don't miss, whatever they don't see or they don't feel like they should call it. It's kind of what happens, and so you want to be aggressive. Certainly just not reckless.
Mike,
Last question, guys.
You have said the players need to earn their role. But for the players who are currently on the show team or scout team, what do they need to do to earn a role to be with the regulars on Sundays?
Well, I think it's twofold. I think it's one, based on who's in front of them and the health of that player. Two, prepare as a starter each and every week, continue to improve and get recognized. And, three, take advantage of their opportunities when it comes. And so, we have a lot of guys that are getting better and improving in that area, and that's valuable. It's valuable for us to be able to rep against them, and also valuable, very valuable for them to improve and get those practice reps. So hopefully when we need them or they earn the opportunity, they'll be ready. Thank you.